Good morning. Just a quick little reading today from 1 Samuel chapter 30. The backstory is David's been still fleeing from Saul and has now taken refuge in the land of the Philistines with Achish, and he's been given a town to live in and to sort of run called Ziklag. David went up to go to battle with the Philistines against Israel, but the lords of the Philistines said, no, he can't come with us. He might turn on us in the battle. So David's heading back to his hometown, to Ziklag, in the land of the Philistines, and he finds that the Amalekites had invaded and smitten it and burned it with fire. And I'll read from verse 2. And had taken the women captive that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept, until they had no more power to weep. And David's two wives were taken captives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. And here's a verse that hopefully will encourage you. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. It's good to know that people that you love or that help you often might not be with you. David used to take a lot of refuge in Jonathan, Saul's son, for example, and their souls were intertwined and they encouraged each other and strengthened each other. But Jonathan wasn't here anymore. David was on his own, and everyone around him was thinking of stoning him, but David was still able to encourage himself in the Lord his God. And I also encourage you, you could be in a real tough situation, but God can be there with you, and he will bring true encouragement to you. And you can just call out to him, pray to him, and he'll give you direction and guidance. Nehemiah is a good example of this. I'll just quickly read a verse here. Excuse me, Nehemiah chapter, too many pages. Chapter 2, I think, yeah. Nehemiah's in the presence of the king, and he's sad because he heard that Israel's burnt down. And the king sees he's sad, which is dangerous. You could die being sad in the king's presence. And the king says to Nehemiah, "For what dost thou make request?" So he's in this situation, a tough situation where his life might be in jeopardy. And the king says, "What do you want?" And what does Nehemiah do? It says, "So I prayed to the God of heaven, and I said." So in that one moment, Nehemiah on his own with the king who held his life in the balance, prayed to God and answered. And your relationship with God should be like that. You should be constantly praying, constantly asking him for his guidance and his help. And you can encourage yourself in the Lord your God. So that's just a quick one today, but I hope it encourages you. We're living in evil days, and you might find yourself in a situation as a Christian where you're on your own, and you can encourage yourself in the Lord your God. All right, God bless you.